Welcome back to my channel. It's going to be part 2 of my diet series, so let's go ahead and get right into it. So here's just a quick recap of episode 1. I'm not going to make you guys listen to me read all this out. I would recommend going back and checking out that video though for more details. Here is your reminder to drink water. Please drink water. It is very, very good for you. It will help basically every single bodily function you have, and it will also help you perform in the gym and also to recover from training. Let's quickly go over the things that make a good protein source. While there are other factors, these are the main 3 that I look at. So we've got affordability, amino acid profile, and micronutrient density. And we'll go into those individually right now. My number 1 factor in choosing a protein source is going to be affordability. So the reason for this is pretty basic. It's that when you're talking about animal-based proteins, the actual difference in micronutrient density and in amino acid profile are not that different, from source to source. Therefore, you should be thinking a lot about the price of things. So unless you're someone who's very financially blessed, you should probably be considering this most of all. Then again, I am biased because I am a broke college student, so this may not apply to some of you. Also, a quick note, there will not be any vegan or vegetarian options given here. That is simply because most high-quality protein sources are animal-based. Now let's get into the complicated shit you guys are actually here for. So this is my number 2 most important factor, and that is the amino acid profile. Let's quickly go over what mTOR is. mTOR is basically the growth pathway of the body that is partially stimulated or fully stimulated by training. So when you stimulate mTOR, you put into motion your body's growth processes, and they're less focused on repair and maintenance and those type of things. Now, there are a lot of factors in mTOR. Outside of the gym, the main ones that are going to be stimulative to mTOR are going to be your total protein intake, regardless of the amino acid profile. 2 is going to be insulin-related growth factors. So that's IGF-1, IGF-2, and other downstream effects of insulin, which we will cover in my next video on carbohydrates. And then number 3 is that amino acid profile. I will let you guys read this a little bit. The main thing is that what you're looking for when you do look up amino acid profiles of food, you want to make sure that the leucine and methionine numbers are higher in total quantity per 100 grams. You want to make sure you're using the same serving size so that you can have an equal quantity of food to compare the different amino acids. Now, all of these amino acids, both branched chain and essential, are going to have some kind of effect on mTOR and on the growth of your body. That said, I wouldn't stress about it too much because they are going to be helpful for other functions of your body. Obviously, your body's doing other things other than just growing through mTOR. Also, I forgot to mention that basically for any food that you can find and any different cut of meat, whatever it might be, you can pretty much look up the amino acid profile. It'll be out there somewhere on the internet. You just have to go and find it. And it'll come up as a little bar chart like you're seeing right now. Now let's go over this 3rd factor when you're picking a protein source, and that is micronutrient density. So this was also covered in the first episode a little bit, but micronutrients are all the things that are not encompassed by protein, carb, fat. This is all your vitamins, your minerals, your electrolytes, all those other things that you talk about when you're talking about food. Now, micronutrients are going to get their own episode, but there's so many of them to cover that even in that video, I will not be able to give a full explanation and full breakdown on what you need. You will have to do your own research a little bit depending on your own deficiencies and things. Just some recommendations just based on this. If it's something you find that you're really lacking, maybe you're a lighter weight lifter, you don't get that much total quantity of food in your diet. These are going to be some more important things for you because you're not getting the total volume of food and therefore not the opportunities for total volume of micros. You all are wondering, which type of protein is best? These are going to be my general recommendations for most people. These should cover basically all of you just from the protein perspective, particularly those top 3. So if there was one protein that you could live on for the rest of your life, it would be eggs. The micronutrient density is incredible. The amino acid profile is incredible. They are extraordinarily cheap. The hardest thing is honestly figuring out how many to buy. When I was on my 25-pound weight gain in my last training series, I was eating between 6 and 8 eggs a day. So I would buy 4 or 5 dozen eggs at a time so that I wouldn't have to go to the store very often. And on top of that, we've got number 2. I was buying about 6 or 7 pounds of chicken thigh quarters every time I would go to the store. And that's just because, again, I didn't want to go that often, and that's how much it would take for me to meal prep for work throughout the week, combined with some carbohydrates, of course. And number 3 is going to be beef. Beef is a little bit more fatty, which kind of pushes it down the board, but what it loses up in the fatty content, it makes up for in the micronutrient density. Is extremely micronutrient dense. And then as we go down, these are all very viable options, and there are some that I left off the list as well. These are going to be the mainstays of what you're looking for. Things like cheese can also have their place as like a topping on food. Obviously, you want to make it, consumable. It has to taste good so that you're feeling encouraged to eat it. Particularly, I find the combination of milk, whey protein, and oat-based cereal to be really helpful in maintaining my body weight. I'm naturally a skinny guy and have sort of force-fed my way to being about 240 pounds as it stands now, but the heaviest I've ever weighed was 251. So that's a little fat guy tip for you there. And here's a little bonus tip, actually, on top of that. Something is better than nothing. I would rather any of my clients who are either trying to maintain or gain weight, I would rather you guys get a half meal, or like go eat like half a pizza, or do something that's maybe not ideal, but something that your body can rely on as fuel for protein so we can keep the process of growth going, rather than it coming to a complete halt because you're basically on like a 10-hour fast, or because your body's starved for nutrients and so it has to halt the process of muscle growth and repair. My next episode is going to be on carbohydrates, which is going to have a big talk about mTOR and about insulin. So stay tuned, guys, and I will catch you next time. Please subscribe. Thanks for watching.